Rabbi, since Judaism passes through the mother, is the decline in the number of Jews in the world a big pressure on Jewish women?
No. And I'm not so sure that whoever brought that up said the decline of the number of Jews, because within, certainly within the Orthodox stream of Judaism, the tenet peru urevu, you shall be fruitful and multiply, is taken very seriously. And the fact of the matter is that one of the concerns here in the United States, there were many studies about concerns about intermarriage, and many of the people who have come into Judaism because they chose Judaism has, on the contrary, has increased a different kind of Judaism, but stronger in its own right. So I can't answer the question because the basis of it I don't believe is correct.
Well, that's good.
Before we go on any further, I just wanted to state that I had made up some bibliographies. I have about 10 copies of them. If there's anybody here who wants to study the role of women in Judaism further, I'd be more than happy to give this.
Thank you. And I think everybody has had a chance to answer a singular question at this point, right? Okay, so at this point, it's time for us to ask them to make either a closing statement that they would like to make or clarify something else that they wish they could have made a little bit clearer before. They can do that, or they can respond to this particular statement. So it's up to you whether or not what you want to do. And we'll start with Roisin. And it's a minute. It's a minute. It'll take a minute to read the question, or the statement. The perceived role of women in religion, as understood by the majority of the world's people, including women themselves, in part holds their submission to men in marriage, their role below men in most religious hierarchy, their being undervalued in the workplace because their real place is in the home, their poverty in later years because of religious hereditary laws that favor men. These constitute the last and most rigid cultural institutional prejudices facing the world, far more consequential than any other prejudice of race, ethnicity, or class, with the possible exception of religious prejudice itself. So you can either address yourself to that, or your own comment. Roisin, it's up to you. Okay, here's the deal. You can either respond to that statement that basically...
hear that question again.
Okay. No. I think the basic question, or the statement is that most religions misunderstanding, or the misunderstanding of most people in the world about the role of women is holding them captive in the most difficult, prejudicial circumstances, second only to religious.
It sounds to me kind of a caricature. I think it's also maybe too general a statement. I think that most of us at the table here came originally from a very patriarchal society, a very patriarchal church system. And we are, I think, in our time emerging in all our faith traditions as well as in all our cultural traditions from that patriarchal model. So I think we are living in a very exciting, transitional, wonderful time to be emerging as women, empowering ourselves and those we work with as women. And so to me it's too much of a caricature to respond to in any great detail.
Great.
Thank you.
Zubeda, either closing comment or you can address that.
Well, I can answer the question that you put. First and foremost, the women are in Islam. The women in Islam are no captives. because like I said, we have equal standing, equal footage. I heard the word submission to man. Hey, there's no such way. The only entity, the only supreme power that we submit to, and that's what Islam is all about, submitting yourself to Allah, the Almighty, to nobody else. We bow to nobody else, we do not ask for help from anybody else. If we are in trouble, He's the one we invoke, and He's the supreme power. So submission is only to the will of Allah, to the command of Allah, and to Allah Almighty. So there's no question of submission to man. Then when we talk about the different underpaid or poverty and things like that, Islam gives us a very clear-cut standing. Man is responsible for his wife, for his children, for the upkeep of his home and everything, and to support her. The money that we earn, we are at liberty to take up a profession, to work or not to work, or just stay at home and be the queen bee. But if we work, we have the right. Our husband cannot force us to give him that money. If of our own will, if there is a need, then we do participate in that process and help out, in putting in our money for the household expenses or for whatever else needs to be done. But if it's not forced upon us. So what we earn, we keep the money. What inheritance we receive, we are entitled to keep that as well. So all said and done, we have a lot of privileges and a lot of support in the system. And the closing statement would be, again, that a woman, 5 minutes of a speech or just short question and answers is not enough time to be able to talk on such an important topic. But hey, as they say, something is better than nothing. So I'm sure we received an insight into it. I really did, listening to all the other faiths over here. And as far as Islam goes, I cannot talk more. I would never have enough time to be able to talk about the role of a woman, because I see myself. I have various things to do, and all with the support of my husband. If I didn't have the support, I even would not be sitting here today and talking. The extra knowledge that I have gained by way of religion, of course, education when I grew up, but extra knowledge by participating in community work and in any other work that would benefit mankind, humankind, regardless of race, caste, creed, or color, is all with the support of my husband. So I couldn't ask for anything more.
Thank you. Mary. And I want to remind everybody just to try to take about a minute for these last comments.